Good evening, NorCal Carters. We have a special podcast tonight, and I have a special guest. Over the past couple of weeks, you've been hearing about a fundraiser on September 16th, which is a Monday at Hidden Brook Golf Club, Golf for Go Karts. And the driver that the fundraiser is for a young driver out of Pacifica. His name is William Ferguson. And that's who we have on with us tonight, William Ferguson. William, say hello.
Hello.
That's what everyone says. They just say hello. That's it. And they just leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you for coming on tonight. We'll keep it kind of short
Thank you for having me.
so you can get back to get ready for bed and get ready for school tomorrow.
Yeah.
But again, so I plugged the Golf for Go Karts. For those of you that want more information, you can go to norcalcarters.com. We have a number of different posts. You can also go to speedsensemotorsports.com, and on their front page, they have a button. Click on the button, and it takes you right to the registration page for the Golf for Go Karts event. And William, do you golf?
Yeah, I'm golf a little bit. I'm not as much anymore, but I used to golf a lot when I was younger, 8. But then I just started getting into racing and didn't really do it as much.
Oh, okay. And how old are you now?
15.
15. All right. Now, are you like a Jason Berry type golfer where you try to go through the windmill and the little loop-de-loops, or like a real golf course?
Both.
Both. Good answer.
Yeah.
So at 8 years old, you were golfing on a real golf course?
Yeah. I think earlier than that. I think my first time I ever golfed on a real golf course was when I was 5 or 6. My uncle started teaching me when I was 3, though. So really, really young.
Have you ever had the longest ball you drove measured?
No, I don't. I think it's probably around 200 yards.
200
maybe?
yards?
I don't know. Yeah.
Wow. I think my best one was about 2 inches. I'm not a very good golfer. But the Golf for Go Karts, that should be a very fun event. The whole idea is to raise funds. And where is Speed Sense trying to send you?
To Italy for the Rock Cup international final.
And you've been competing in some rock events here in Northern California at Sonoma. And you have a couple championships, don't you?
Yes, I won the 2018 Junior Rock Championship.
And then this year you earned a ticket to the Rock Cup Super Final. And that's in South Garda karting, at the South Garda karting facility in Lonato, Italy. So that should be very exciting. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, very much looking forward to it.
So you fly to Italy every other weekend, right?
No, I wish.
No, have you ever been to Italy?
No, I haven't. I think the furthest I've been is maybe Canada, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't think that's near Italy.
So, yeah. No.
No. It should be very exciting. And I know South Garda, that's a very, I'm not good with words. A very traditional, very, very famous karting facility over in Italy. If I'm not mistaken, that might be the home track to CRG and Tony Kart and a number of other Italian manufacturers.
Yeah, exactly.
So have you been on YouTube studying the track layout?
Yeah, a lot
Good
of
kid.
studying.
All right.
Yeah.
And so let's get to know William Ferguson a little bit on this podcast. So how long have you been racing karts?
I've been racing. This is my 5th season.
5th season, okay. And what team do you currently run with?
Speed Sense Motorsports.
Speed Sense Motorsports. And again, if you go to speedsensemotorsports.com, click on the link for the Golf for Go Karts, and the fundraiser is raising money to send young William over to Italy to go live a racing dream. Did I kind of sum that up pretty good?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. And so when you're running at Sonoma, I've got to know you over the past couple of years being out there as well. You're under the Speed Sense Motorsports team, but who spins the wrenches for you?
My dad.
Your dad.
He does all the work. Yeah, he's always out there working his ass off all the time.
So you really are. I mean, it's a father-son effort, even though you're under the canopy of Speed Sense Motorsports. So that's always really good to see, especially in karting. It seems like it's becoming more and more rare at the higher levels of karting where, the dad and the kid are working together to go race karts.
Yeah.
So what's your... I mean, we didn't really prep for this interview, so I'm just going very candid. What is your favorite racing moment in a kart?
Probably favorite. Probably making when you go into a first corner or something and you pass 5 karts in the opening lap.
Okay.
Yeah.
The intensity of the start.
That's always a fun time.
And then what was your most frustrating experience in a kart?
Probably so I went to last year in October, I went to the Rock the Rio.
Yep.
And it was a pretty good weekend. I was running top 10 pretty much the whole time. And I was starting 8th in the final. And my engine just didn't start.
For the main event, the engine just did not start.
Yeah, we warmed it up on the stands, put it on the ground, and then it just decided not to start.
And then nothing. That would be highly aggravating. And so for those of you that don't know that are listening, the Rock the Rio, it takes place every year in Las Vegas, and it's a parking lot race at the Rio Hotel and Suites. And very cool event. And so recently, I saw an email come through. You won another kind of a racing award recently. Tell us about that. I'll give you a hint what I'm referring to. Rhymes with Radical SR1.
Oh, yeah. So for winning the 2018 Sanzari Championship, I got to have a day test driving the Radical SR1, as you said, as was hosted by Cameron Racing. And I did that last Tuesday. It was really, really fun. Really great experience.
So I'm not a big Formula car guy. I just don't know my cars. And explain to our listeners, what is a Radical SR1? I'm looking at the picture. It looks really cool. It's an open canopy, winged sports car. What type of engine does it have?
It's got a motorcycle engine, a Hayabusa 1300.
Okay.
It's the whole body is just fiberglass, so it's really, really light, 900 pounds, and it's just really fun, really loose car, and you're going really fast, so it's really fun to drive, almost like a go-kart.
Almost like a go-kart. How does it sound?
Yeah. It sounds pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty deep, and it sounds pretty awesome.
And were you able to figure out the big track at Sonoma pretty quickly?
Yeah, so I've driven there a couple times. I've done the Miata series, Mazda Miata, with TFB, and so yeah, I mean I knew the track pretty decently, and yeah, it was really fun to test the car out.
And so how would you compare the Radical to a kart?
It's pretty similar. The only difference I think for me was having to shift, which wasn't really that difficult because a lot of it was electronic, so automatic blip, and the only time you need to use the clutch is for starting it.
Okay.
After that, you just bang the paddles. Um, and I think a main difference would be learning how to trail brake. Um, and yeah, but other than that, I mean, it handled pretty much like a go-kart.
So for a full-size kart track that you haven't been to, let's say for Sonoma, for example, and you mentioned you've been in the Miata, and then recently it was in the Radical SR1. How do you prepare yourself for that track?
I mean, you can watch like a lot of videos. That's what I did. And, but I think actually driving it, coming from karting, it wasn't too difficult. Um, but I think for a track like Sonoma, it was more just getting used to how a car handles and slowing everything down because everything in a car is like way, way, way slower than in karts.
Okay.
So getting used to that and yeah, pretty much just getting used to slowing everything down.
Yeah, because the Radical SR1 by car standards, and correct me if I'm wrong, is a pretty light vehicle. But compared to your go kart, it's pretty heavy.
Yeah, pretty heavy. Yeah.
And how is the difference like with the brake pedal? Not necessarily the feel, but just getting used to slowing down a heavier piece of equipment.
It was weird. It's like, well, also because in go-karts there's no seat or there's no seat belt. So slowing down, like it was a really weird feeling to. It's totally different to just especially with all the downforce, like everything just stops way quicker and you fly like forward into the seat belt. And yeah, it was really fun. I mean, I just can't thank Steve Cameron at Cameron Racing. Um, yeah, I can't thank him enough. It was just an awesome experience.
Yeah, Steve and his brother Rick, they've been around the Formula car game for a long time. So those are some good guys to have at the side of your car there.
Yeah.
All right, so for those of you that missed it, we're talking with William Ferguson tonight, and William is the driver that Speed Sense Motorsports is raising the funds for the Golf for Go Karts trip to Italy, and that trip, the main event weekend, so the big Rock Cup Super Final is October 8th through the 12th, and that's at the South Garda Karting facility in Lonato, Italy. And from my understanding, William, you guys are trying to raise enough funds so you can actually go over there a week early so you can at least test and get used to the track. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of testing. So yeah, that'll be really good to get up there early, get used to all the grip that's laid down from drivers in Italy. And yeah.
And when you're over in Italy, besides the kart aspect, do you have any intentions of maybe being a little bit of a tourist?
Yeah, definitely. I think I know my mom, of course. She wanted to go to Monaco and possibly France, Rome. Just yeah, all those really fancy, nice places.
But basically trying to take advantage. You're already paying for the ticket to get over there. Might as well take advantage of the opportunity, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And again, this is just a very candid interview. I really appreciate you coming on. Tell your parents thanks for letting you stay up a little bit later tonight. Why don't you tell the listeners one fun fact about yourself? What's one thing away from racing that you enjoy as a hobby?
I do judo, It's Japanese martial arts. I do that every Tuesday and Thursday, and if I'm not